Up, Ninja? So welcome to Module 2. This is going to be the module that covers everything on how to find a world-class dropshipper to be able to actually fulfill your customers' orders. And so it's super important, right? If you ever have an order that is, a fake product or the wrong product or any number of different things that can happen, people are going to be mad if they don't ship it out on time. People are going to be mad, and when people get mad on the internet, they charge back. And when you get chargebacks to your card and your payment processor, things just go bad. They can close your Stripe account, they can close your Shopify payments account, and it's just much harder to do business. So something that we want to be really, really stringent about from the beginning is setting this up all correctly and finding manufacturers that are only going to ship out very quality products. They're always going to ship out the right products, and they're going to be very communicative and really are going to be on your side if anything ever does go wrong, which inevitably it does happen to everyone. So the very first thing we're going to do is come up into AliExpress, and we're going to go to My AliExpress. And then from here, we are going to go to My Alipay. So Alipay is a really common way that people pay their manufacturers on AliExpress. And I'm actually going to set this up with you guys for the most part. And so we are going to activate our Alipay by confirming this link. And we are going to set our Alipay password. Oh, it's 6 digits. And we're going to fill out all of this. I'm going to pause it really quick. And so once you kind of set up those security questions, it's going to say your Alipay account has been set up successfully. Go to My Alipay. But one thing that I do recommend you guys all to do is verify your identity. And the reason for this is because, if you start to do large volume, which you pretty much inevitably will, Alipay will make you verify your identity just to protect them from fraud, people making a bunch of orders for credit cards that end up being fake or something like that. And so you verify your identity by providing all of the information they ask for, right? Gender, full name, date of birth, nationality. They ask for address information, and then they ask for an identification. So I just use my passport document number, and then you take a picture of the front and back, just basically exactly what they ask for, and submit it. And I recommend that everyone does this up front, because when they actually do go about forcing the review, right, like let's say you don't verify your account and you buy a bunch of stuff, then they'll basically freeze all of your transactions for, it can be a couple of days, up to 5 days, I've even seen it, which is really hard because if you have a bunch of pending orders, right, that kind of starts to stuff things up, and people will get mad if their orders aren't there on time, and your suppliers will not ship until they're paid, and there's just a lot of things that can be annoying to deal with. And so I always recommend people to actually verify their identity up front. And so all you have to do there is just verify your identity. We're not going to show you how to do that because it walks you through it exactly. And so basically this is where you'll actually access your Alipay account, and that is the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is installing our Chrome extension. And so we talked about this briefly before, but for example, if we just search some random thing, this is called the Ali Price Assistant. And so Ali Price does a lot of cool stuff. We mentioned it really quickly before, but this is funny. I've actually seen this brand on Amazon. So what Ali Price Checker does is it basically aggregates a lot of information for you, which we see down in this bottom bar. And so we talked about this earlier, but I'll mention it again. They show the seller analysis, how long they've been on AliExpress, their feedback score, medium level of trust, item corresponds to the description, very communicative, right? A lot of things that you do want to know. They haven't been around that long, but the entire time they've been around, they've been selling this for the exact same price, which is interesting. And so this is just going to help us going forward. So I wanted to make sure that you had your Alipay set up, you were verified so you're not going to get shut down later, and that you have your Ali Price Assistant Chrome extension. So let's Ali Price Chrome extension. Just for those of you who don't know how to set it up and haven't set it up yet, just Google search Ali Price Assistant, and it's right here. and then basically all you have to do is be in the Google Chrome browser and click add to Chrome. I already have it added, so it says added, but all you have to do is add to Chrome, and this little icon will appear, and then when you're actually on a product page, it will pop up this little useful bar. And so those are the two kind of logistical things that I wanted to talk about. The last thing that I want to talk about really quickly is when you do start to get up into higher volume and your Alipay is linked to your credit card, sometimes your credit card will just automatically freeze your card if it sees a bunch of little transactions, right? Like if you're buying 100, $1.76 things per day, your credit card company might be like, what the heck? And so, once you start to get a little bit, start to scale and start to get things really moving, I always recommend people to call their credit card and tell them, hey, there's going to be, 50 to 100 different transactions on this card between these prices, and it could potentially start to scale even larger than that. And so just warn them, and then they won't accidentally freeze your credit card just for risk of fraud on their end. So those are the three things that I wanted to talk about, just common mistakes I've seen getting set up. Now let's move into actually how to find the world's best suppliers to dropship.